Greetings, Earthlings! Welcome to another immaculate episode of Urban Nerd Weekly. Today is Thursday, April the 11th, and it's episode 13 of season 2. Thanks for joining us again, you guys. We got a very small nerd news update today, just to give you a little bit more info on the story we've been following this week. Plus, we got a digital download jam-packed full of video games, movies, and music. We're gonna have to slide on right into today's topic, which is a Throwback Thursday topic. It's the exploration of DC Universe's Cyborg. So tune in, nerd out, to today's episode of Urban Nerd Weekly.
Ain't no freestyle, bitch, this, that, he style. Hey, it's your boy Spaceship, man. I got a new podcast out I want y'all to subscribe to, bruh. It's called Urban Nerd Weekly, available on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play Music. My
back up in this shit. I just snatched some couple bitch. I'm about to hit the stick, so go and follow me on Twitch. Now watch me crank that herb. Now watch me crank that herb. Watch me crank that herb. Now watch me crank that herb.
What's happening? It's your boy Spaceman. I'm so glad you guys could join me again. I'm over here grooving to the theme song. I was on SoundCloud the other day and I just realized that song's been up for a year already. So thanks for all the folks that listened to the whole song and, you know, try to support your boy in every way possible. I appreciate that. Plus, a lot of people said the song was actually pretty silly. So I'm happy I accomplished that little goal. But once again, you know, let's go ahead and get straight into business. Today's nerd news update is very, very short and sweet. We're just relaying a little information today. Like I said, today is April the 11th, which means it is the day of Nipsey Hussle's memorial. So if you're an Urban Nerd Weekly listener out in Los Angeles, California, and you're in proximity to the Staples Center, well, it's probably already too late to buy them tickets. Them tickets been on sale for a couple days. It was Nipsey. They probably went out. It was limited seating. However, I'm sure they were just like the Aaliyah funeral they had, and when Left Eye had her funeral in Atlanta. I'm sure the city is gonna be stupid packed, and you'll probably just go outside of the Staples Center just to support anyway. But you know, rest in peace to my guy Nip once again, man. I'm not pretending like I knew him personally. However, you know, back in, you know, the early 2000s, you know, his hustle definitely inspired me to continue moving forward. It's very hard to be a content creator. There's so many of us out there. It's very hard to get you guys' attention. So, I mean, from rapper to comedian to just silly motherfucker who posts crazy shit on the internet. This is a real hustle out here. So, you know, Nipsey definitely laid out a lot of free game for a lot of people. You know, and I definitely will. I think the entire culture is shocked. There's a literal culture shock right now. He is very dearly missed. So rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. He's having his memorial in Los Angeles, California at the Staples Center today. Seating is limited, like I said. So if you're not already there, then you're probably going to be square. But I'd rather be square outside than not at all. You know what I mean? So if anybody is in proximity to the memorial service today, I would love if you guys could just, you know, not inside, because there will be no cameras and no microphones, no recording equipment inside of the Staples Center. But if anybody has footage from outside, or, you know, you got guys talking about, you know, conversation and how Nipsey Hussle, you know, positively or negatively affected them, then, you know, feel free to hit me up on my social media, man. The big three, of course: Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Space was here, SPAYCEWUZHERE. And make sure you put an ad in front of that to get at me. And make sure you drop me a line, man. Let me know how y'all feeling about Nipsey. You know, excuse me. You know, let me know how he affected your life. You know what I'm saying? Let me, you know, just, you know, because I'm a Nipsey fan, and I was definitely inspired. And if you were the same way, then I'd love to know. But moving on. Today's digital download pack full of video games. Like I said, video games, music, and movies today. On the video game front, we got Earth Defense Force Iron Rain, which comes out today on PlayStation 4. We got Nintendo Labo, the VR kit, which has been getting a lot of buzz lately, and I'm pretty sure they're being really smart and trying to release this shit during the spring, so them sales are going to be stupid during the summertime. But it will be available tomorrow, April 12th, and it will be only available on Switch, of course, because it's Nintendo. The Konami Arcade Classic comes out this Saturday, and it'll be available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So make sure y'all get that shit, because that's the throwback, and it's so perfect for a Throwback Thursday episode, right? We're talking about the Konami arcade shit. I remember arcades. I'm one of us 90s kids. We're the last generation of the arcade, dude. We're the last ones to see the arcade. I remember I used to go to the movies just because they had better Like, that was the only place I knew to go to play the arcade games when I was little, at the Magic Johnson Theater, because, you know, I'm from the A. But yeah, on to the next movies. We got a movie called Missing Link coming out tomorrow. We got a new Hellboy movie coming out tomorrow, which, it looks cool, but it's just kind of weird that it's just called Hellboy. And this is like the third or fourth, maybe even, installment in the series of Hellboy. How the hell did it get the exact same title as the first movie? That's weird. That would be like a Harry Potter coming out with another Sorcerer's Stone and then just not putting a 2 or anything at the end of that shit. So that's just how the fuck we rocking today, huh? Alright, anyway. We also got the movie Little coming out tomorrow, starring Regina Hall, where she's gonna be transformed into a teenage girl. She's being such a bitch in the movie, so that should be hilarious. Plus, we got a movie called After, also coming out tomorrow, April the 12th. On to the music front, a guy named Anderson .Paak. Oh, I've heard of him before. I haven't heard his stuff before, I've heard that name before, which shows that he's doing some good job at branding. However, he has an album coming out tomorrow, called Ventura. And we also have an artist named Pete Rock who has an album called The Return of SP-1200. Pete Rock, that sounds like one of them old school. I'm gonna look up Pete Rock because I feel like this is like one of them old school rappers that a lot of niggas my age don't be knowing about because he wasn't like that big and shit, and now he's coming out with it. I'm gonna look that guy up because that name sounds so familiar. However, that was today's digital download. So, you know, if you heard anything and you want to go check it out, of course, you're already on the internet if you're listening to me. So just go ahead and scroll on through. You know, you can find those projects available at all the places that they are available. Now, I'd like to take a second to remind you guys to please visit spacewuzhere.com, SPAYCEWUZHERE.com. That is my official website, and it is also the official, unofficial home of Urban Nerd Weekly. So that's where you can get all the info about both me and the show. And if you sign up for the email list, then you'll be able to get all the content when it's fresh pressed. Plus, I'll have your email to send you some exclusive content when I start rolling that out this summer. So please be on the lookout for that and make sure you join the mailing list. SPAYCEWUZHERE.com. Love you, thank you, and good night. No, I'm just playing. But I would appreciate it if you went to the site, though. On to the next, last episode, we ended our question of the day with, basically a which is better, which is always a great question to end the show with. I'm not even actually done gathering up the stats for this because I put a poll up on my Twitter page to see, you know, to get even more feedback on the answer because I'm kind of interested. We used to have this conversation all the time when I was little kids, like which one was better between Disney Channel, you know, Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon and shit. I was always partial to like Nickelodeon. Well, okay, let me backtrack. I started off liking Cartoon Network more because I was a kid. I was 5 years old the day that Cartoon Network began to broadcast. So I actually got to see the first day of Cartoon Network. I kind of still remember the lineup. I remember it was like Pirates of the Blackwater, like Thundercats, Dexter's Lab came on that day. And there was another show that came on, but I don't think it might have been like Sailor Moon or some shit. I want to say Dragon Ball Z I saw that day too, but I don't want to say it inaccurately, but I seriously think that came on it. Anyway, I was there, you know what I'm saying? I know this is going to make me sound old as shit in like 2 to 5 years, but I was there the first day that Cartoon Network was on the network, you know what I mean, man? So I was always very, very partial to Cartoon Network. However, I didn't always like every single show on there. You know, nobody likes every single show on one channel. But anyway, I was started off being real partial to Cartoon Network. But, you know, as I got older, I really feel like Nickelodeon kind of was more in tune to what kids really liked. Disney Channel is kind of like, you know, what your parents want you to like. And Cartoon Network is like what we like. But Cartoon Network also did some risky shit early on because they used to play episodes of Ren and Stimpy and shit. But so did Cartoon Network. So did Nickelodeon. Like, I don't want y'all to be fooled. Like, y'all see Ren and Stimpy as one of these banned cartoons that shouldn't be shown to children anymore. That's the fuck we was watching as children, folks. Ren and motherfucking Stimpy and Two Stupid Dogs. Both hilarious. Both about dogs. Don't know why it stuck out. I guess because I was afraid of dogs as a kid. But anyway, ironically enough, thus far, The answer that I have gotten the most is actually Disney Channel, which it's not blowing my mind that people are, kind of more attached to Disney Channel because, they kind of have one advantage over Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon in that they have, their own line of movies out. So, you kind of fall in love with Disney, on one of your favorite movies type shit before you even get to watch the channel as a kid. So when you start watching the channel, it's just a little easier to transition, because you've already been introduced to their type of content or whatever. Not to mention, Disney Channel did, bar none, out of all of them, have the best, made-for-TV movies. Like, they weren't the greatest quality, but they were better than the shit that Nickelodeon tried to make as a made-for-TV movies. Because, first of all, every time Nickelodeon did a made-for-TV movie, they was really just making extra long episodes of TV shows that were already on the network. That's kind of cheating the game. Give me something full and original, and Cartoon Network, they kind of did the same thing, but their biggest problem was all of their made-for-TV movies, well, I'm not gonna say all, but too many of their made-for-TV movies were live action. It's Cartoon Network, people. We come here for motherfucking cartoons. I don't want to see Ben 10 dried up and shit. I want that nigga animated as fuck, okay? Please and thank you. Now, on to today's topic. One that I really wanted to cover last year, but I couldn't find the just right episode to put them in. So, today's Throwback Thursday episode of Urban Nerd Weekly will be dedicated to Cyborg of the DC Universe. Now, let's go ahead and get us a quick little history on Cyborg. Cyborg is a fictional superhero appearing in the American comic books published by DC Comics, and yes, I Wikipedia that shit, because I don't want to tell y'all the wrong thing, even though it is Wikipedia, so the wrong shit could be up there, totally. But, fuck it, let's go with it. The character was created by writer Marv Wolfman and the artist George Perez. First appears in the special insert in DC Comics Presents number 26, which is October 1980. So, let's just get in perspective here. Cyborg was created during the 80s. That makes a lot of sense considering all of the... during the 80s, if you look at all the stuff that came out back then, everything was kind of what they thought futuristic was at the time. So everybody was one of the most popular dances in the 80s was the robot. So you kind of can understand, it makes sense. It makes sense that Black Panther was made in the 70s because that's the height of when the Black Panthers were doing the most as an organization. So I get why Cyborg, kind of was created in the 80s. It was probably about the first time in American history that black people kind of could, seriously believe they could be something. So it kind of made sense for, futuristically thinking wise, why not have a half a robot type of superhero, on our team. However, I digress, let's get back into the history. Originally known as a member of the Teen Titans, Cyborg was established as a founding member of the Justice League in DC's 2011 reboot of its comic book titles and subsequently in the 2016 relaunch of its continuity. Now, what that basically means is, originally, Cyborg was kind of a standalone hero. He was just some guy. And then, he's mainly known as being one of the Teen Titans. We all know that. Unfortunately, the Teen Titans Go movie is, the biggest Teen Titans thing. So it's, the first thing a lot of people know of Cyborg, which I fucking hate. But I'm gonna get into Teen Titans Go into a whole nother fucking episode because that level of festivity don't need to be inserted in when we talk about Cyborg. But, that's true though. Cyborg was established. Oh wait, I'm sorry. But yeah, the reboot they're talking about was the new 52 shit that DC did a little bit ago, where they basically rewrote everybody's origin story and basically make it to where they're all intertwined and shit. Even though they didn't really have to do that. They could have just made up some shit like most niggas that write comic books do to tie it all together. But I guess they had too many characters and conflicting timelines and shit like that. So I guess they were trying to make it more cohesive as far as the whole universe of DC Comics goes, which I can understand that from an organizational standpoint. However, he has since been reestablished as a past member of the Teen Titans again. Now, let's just go ahead and I'm gonna actually say all the little shit in the little blocks, the publication information and shit That's in the Wikipedia page. I normally don't read that, but it's just kind of interesting. You know, the publisher, of course, is DC Comics. His first appearance, like we just said, was DC Comics presents number 26 in 1980. Created by Marv Wolfman and George Perez, like we said. Cyborg's full name is Victor Stone, and the species that he is a human cyborg, which is, you know, half a robot and shit. Team affiliations are, of course, Teen Titans and, of course, Justice League, but Star Labs and Doom Patrol have also contracted Cyborg out as well. Now, this is what I was really trying to read out. I wanted to give a full spectrum of Cyborg's abilities because I haven't seen anything yet, like animated-wise or comic book-wise or even, like, you know, because I think that, you know, DC, the streaming app for DC, they have a live action for the Titans and shit now, and I don't think nobody ever seems to use Cyborg to his full potential. So I want everybody to know, like, his full abilities. Like, he has a genius level intellect. He has cybernetic enhancement grants, which gives him superhuman strength, speed, stamina, endurance, and durability. He has advanced sensory systems and scanners, so he can, like, detect shit without seeing it or see it from, you know, very far away. Inbuilt weaponry, including sonic cannon, which is my favorite shit, which he doesn't, like. Nobody's gotten to see the full blast of that sonic cannon. That shit's a real motherfucker. He can fly sometimes. Like, if you guys are big Teen Titans, not Teen Titans Go fans, but if you're big regular Teen Titans fans like I am, you do know that Cyborg's, like, flight systems is often down. So he hardly ever actually flies. He does, however, have a lot of different devices that he's built in which he can get around in case he's not with team members that have the ability to carry his heavy ass or fly him anywhere. But he can fly, you know, a lot of time. Technopathy, that's like being a telepath except with technology. Like, he can mentally control other technology and shit. But that ability isn't unlocked until he's upgraded a couple times after his initial transformation into Cyborg. And he also can generate bone tubes. Once again, not an ability that they let him get a lot of the time until he's like the older version of, like, Cyborg Victor Stone. Like, not when he's, like, fresh off, you know, the football field and shit, but when he's, you know, he's been Cyborg for a while. So let's go ahead and get into, you know, the origins and shit. The character gained greater visibility as a feature character in the early 2000s Cartoon Network animated series Teen Titans, one of my favorite shows, and made his live action debut around the same time the TV series Smallville. Oh yeah, because I remember that he was on Smallville, and one of my favorite actors actually played him. Lee Thompson Young played Cyborg on Smallville, and it was really sad too, because, you know, he took his own life not too many years after he played Cyborg. Matter of fact, it might have been that same year, because he was also on another, like, he was a title character on another TV show that was also missing him, you know, when he passed. So, you know, rest in peace to Lee Thompson Young. He is one of my favorite actors growing up as a kid. His one of his biggest shows was this show called The Famous Jet Jackson that used to come on Disney Channel, who we was just talking about earlier, which is one of the reasons I could understand how that would be someone's favorite channel, because The Famous Jet Jackson was one of my favorite fucking TV shows. It was awesome. Jet Jackson was everything that I wanted to be as a kid. I wanted to, like, literally, that's what I wanted. Which, you know, I haven't had enough time to call Disney Channel out on the fact that Hannah Montana is really was just a fucking rehash of The Famous Jet Jackson, except they made her a singer instead of an actor this time. But whatever, I'm not gonna call Disney out on their bullshit right now. However, I will say that The Famous Jet Jackson was one of the most amazing TV shows that they ever produced. It was everything I wanted to be as a kid. He was a famous TV actor that convinced the company that shot his show to come and shoot it in his hometown just so he could finish growing up and going to high school with all his friends and shit. That to me was fucking amazing. That was everything I wanted my life to be like at that point. I still wouldn't mind, you know, something like that going on. Like, if I could fucking have a hit-ass TV show and then, you know, slightly live regular life sometimes, that would be pretty cool. But I don't think you can make that last too long, you know, depending on how famous you are. Which ended up being the biggest problem in the show, was that he was getting more and more famous as the show went on, so he eventually had to come to grips with the fact that he was just too famous to be a regular dude. However, that was a tangent. Rest in peace, Lee Thompson Young. Probably have a whole episode of Urban Nerd Weekly about him one day. However, right now we talk about Cyborg, who he played on an episode or two of Smallville. And did a fucking awesome job of that also. These appearances precipitated Cyborg's increased prominence in the DC Comics from 2011 onwards. Later, the character made his live-action debut as played by Ray Fisher in Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice in 2016, later reprising the role as a lead character in Justice League as part of the DC Extended Universe. Fisher's contract includes the option for further films, including a Cyborg solo film, which I'm so hoping they fucking do. In 2019, the character was adapted for animation again for the TV series Young Justice Outsiders, and is played by Jovian Wade in the live-action Doom Patrol web television series. Okay, so Young Justice Outsiders, that is the long fucking awaited season 3 of Young Justice. Alright, and it is available on the DC streaming app, so if you got the coin to pay for it, cause I'm slick thinking about going ahead and I got the app, I got a membership. I mean, I don't have a membership, I got an account on there, but I haven't signed up for membership yet. So if there's anyone that has a DC streaming app membership that you are actively using, let me know. Is it worth the coin? Cause I kind of really want to get it. I'm a huge DC lover. But I don't know if I'm ready to spend it every month like that, cause I'm poor and shit, and I mean, you know, unless you guys wanna, help me monetize the show and I'll put some commercials on or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I should be watching this. I'm the aficionado. I'm petitioning to be your king, people. I want to be king of the nerds, and one of the ways I'm gonna do that is with this DC streaming app. But once again, tangent. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, and like I said, and Jovian Wade in the live action Doom Patrol, that is also on the DC streaming app. And real quick, I just want to get into a little bit more of Victor Stone and the whole origin of him since it's been changed with the new 52. So I'm gonna go ahead and read that out, and then we're gonna dip out on you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. But Victor Stone is the son of Silas Stone and Eleanor Stone. Scientists who use him as a test subject for various intelligent enhancements projects, which is why he was already kind of smart before the whole cyborg transition thing happened. While these treatments are ultimately successful and Victor's IQ subsequently grows to genius level, he grows to resent his treatment. Now, I want y'all to understand, at this point, Victor is pretty much almost flawless because he is he's very athletically built. He has a great football career ahead of him. He's top of his, he's top of his county or state or whatever as a football player, and his parents just gave him genius level intellect. So this guy, Victor Stone is fucking going somewhere in the world, you know what I mean? Victor strikes up a friendship with Ron Evers, a young miscreant who leads him into trouble with the law. This is the beginning of a struggle in which Victor strives for independence, engaging in pursuits of which his parents disapprove. Like most teenagers, he's going through that rebellious stage. He's doing the opposite of what they want because it's the only way he can feel like he's making his own decisions. You know what I mean? I'm sure a lot of people can agree with that. Such as athletics and abandoning his studies. That's part of the reason he got more into football and was fuck school. And you could get away with that if you're already genius level intellect, you know what I mean? Victor's association with underage criminals leads him down a dark path in which he is often injured, but he still lives a normal life in which he is able to make his own decisions. However, this rebellious path does not bury Victor's conscience, considering that he refuses to participate in Everett's grandiose plans of racially motivated terrorism. Oh shit. Victor's situation changes radically when he visits his parents' lab where experiments and interdimensional access are done. At that moment of his entry, an aggressive, gelatinous creature was accidentally pulled through, and Victor's mother was killed by it. It then turned on Victor, and he was severely injured by this attack before his father was able to send it back to his native dimension. With his wife dead and his son mutilated, unconscious, and near death from the incident, Silas is driven to take advantage of prototype medical prosthetic research he has access to in order to treat Victor. Unfortunately, Victor only regains consciousness after the extensive artificial limbs and implants were installed in his body without his consent. Victor was horrified at the discovery of the metallic components, which involved most of the left side of his head and face, and raged that he would rather have died than be such a victim of his father's manipulations. Not to mention, he felt like a bit of an abomination, considering, he, in his mind, should have been dead. Although his bitterness remains for some time, Victor eventually calms down enough to successfully adjust to his implants physically. He found himself rejected by the public because of his implants, including his girlfriend, who would later thoughtlessly blurt out that she would prefer he had died instead of being in this state. Which is fucked up, because he was already thinking that shit. Now she said it. Yeah, I'd say he's gonna do a lot of sad jacking off later, but I think his dick is robotic too, so he can't enjoy that as much. Although his bitterness remained for some time. Oh damn, I'm already rereading that same shit. However, Victor's conscience was unbowed, as evidenced by the fact that when Everest tried to manipulate him into participating in the terrorist attack on the United Nations, Victor decided to equip himself with his weaponized attachments and stop him on the top of the United Nations headquarters. Thus, the birth of the superhero Cyborg with his first heroic action. Now, here's his history as a part of the Teen Titans. And I'm going to get into that real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because I love Teen Titans that much. But when Raven assembles the Teen Titans, Victor joins initially for the benefit of a support group of kindred spirits and freaks, and has remained with the group ever since. Because I think he felt a little bit more attached to the group than everybody else was. It was kind of the first place he felt accepted after the experiment, well, not the experiment, the implants he got to become Cyborg, by his dad or whatever. It was the first place he really kind of felt accepted, because the public rejected him and his girlfriend dumped him and he couldn't sad jack off and shit. So he needed something, man. You know what I mean? However, fortunately, Victor eventually finds additional new civilian friends of better character, such as a group of juveniles who are adjusting to their own prosthetics and idolize him because of his fancy parts and his exciting adventures. It also turns out that their beautiful teacher, Sarah Sims, who has often assisted Cyborg and the Titans, admired him as well. Another person who sees past the cybernetic shell is Dr. Cyril Charles, a star lab scientist who helps him recuperate after having his cybernetic parts replaced. Cyborg and Dr. Charles date for some time, and she, along with Changeling, keeps trying to reach him when he is seemingly mindless following the severe injuries he incurs during the Titans Hunt storyline. Now, that's all I got about Cyborg today. There is so much more, and I'm probably going to put a good bit of this on the blog post for this episode of Urban Nerd Weekly. But for now, guys, I got to make my exit, man. I love you guys. I love you guys so much, and I never want to leave. However, unfortunately, time doesn't work that way. So I'm going to hit you guys with today's question of the day, and then we got to jet on out of here. Today's question of the day is, do you procrastinate? Do you procrastinate on doing your taxes? Now, today's question of the day is inspired by the fact that the deadline to do your taxes is in like 4 days. So if you are an Urban Nerd Weekly listener and you are over the age of 24, this is a reminder, baby. Do your motherfucking taxes, because the long dick of the law and Uncle Sam don't fuck around. Make sure you do that shit, because them late fees ain't shit. Them late fees is a real bitch. You don't need that in your life. If you love yourself, avoid that shit. But do you procrastinate to do your taxes, like I did? Because I didn't remember until like last week. So I'm not like better than you. I just had someone there to tell me and shit. So do you procrastinate to do your taxes, and why? Because I had a reason, but I'm going to tell you guys on the next episode of the show. So you guys, thank you for listening again. I love you so much, man. My name is Space Was Here, see, because I was here, but now I'm